Every film has those pivotal moments that shift the entire story. Moments that force characters to make tough choices. These are turning points, and they fuel the narrative, sparking emotions, and it keeps your audience at the edge of their seat. And today, I'll show you how to create those moments that make your film impossible to turn away from.
Tror du att de bor där?
Jag tror inte det.
Alla tre? Någon måste ju bo där i alla fall, men...
A turning point is a moment in your film that changes everything.
Kom igen nu, kliv ut.
It's when the story takes a new direction. A character makes a big decision, or when something unexpected happens that forces everyone to react.
De är på väg upp mot bilen.
De är på väg upp mot bilen.
Ja, berätta nu då. De startar bilen.
Ja.
Nu kör de ner som du filmar.
Ja, okej. Kör
Ja,
dit.
jag kör.
Ja, vi har en bil emellan oss.
Ja, ja.
And a great turning point is surprising, but it feels inevitable. And when I was making Puppy Mafia, one key turning point was when my dog died. That was a huge moment that set me on a path to uncover the truth about the illegal puppy trade.
De svänger E4, E18, E20.
Ja, men hur delar på dem?
It was personal, emotional, and it changed everything for me. I went up to the attic, I looked through papers, I tried to find answers. And these are moments of change within a character. It's when they realize something and make a tough choice or face a personal fear. It's all about what's happening on the inside, in their head and heart. And in The Pearl of Africa, Cleo's decision to leave Uganda was an internal turning point. It was a moment where she had to confront her fears and decide to leave. Everything that she loved, just to find safety.
When we were in Uganda, we could show openly our love. I was scared at first, but I so wanted to claim my space. But now, with me on the front page, it wouldn't be possible.
There are external turning points as well. An event happens that forces your character to change their plans or react in a new way. It could be a storm, an accident, or an unexpected visitor. In the Puppy Mafia, the moment I found out about the illegal breeding rings was an external turning point. There are interpersonal turning points as well, moments that happen between characters, and it could be an argument, a betrayal, about relationships and how they change. In the Zero Silence doc I made, a huge turning point came when the activists realized that they were being watched by the regime. It was a moment that created tension, fear, and a new sense of urgency in their fight for freedom.
I can no longer pretend that I am some anonymous journalist. They give me a hard time when I go cover stuff.
Every turning point should connect back to what your characters want.
I'm not sure about raising children in Egypt, especially under these conditions.
And you should start by knowing your character's goal. That's the starting point. What do they want more than anything? Every turning point should be either bringing them closer or further away from that goal. And when I was working on The Pearl of Africa, Cleo's goal was simple: to live freely and safely as a transgender woman. And every turning point in the story, from her decision to leave Uganda to her struggle to find acceptance, it was built around that one goal.
I wish my mom was here.
Great turning point feels both surprising and inevitable. And the audience should be shocked. But when they are thinking back, They should realize that it all makes sense. This means planting clues and foreshadowing it earlier so that, the moment feels earned. And in the Puppy Mafia, when I discovered the illegal network behind the trade, it was a shock, but looking back, all of the clues were there. And the strange behavior of certain breeders, the hidden documents, and the unexplained deaths of the puppies. The surprise was there, but it was also inevitable because of all the groundwork laid throughout the film. And this is what the story structuring is all about. To lay this out so that people can follow along.
W takim razie do zobaczenia i do usłyszenia, nie?
Tak jest.
Fajnie, dzięki wielkie. He is my favorite criminal because 1 week ago I posted in Facebook group I need a puppy. I don't really ask him to make a passport faster or make a fake passport. He's just like normal thing. He just wrote to me that, okay, my wife is veterinary. When you need the passport, we can speed up the process and it's not a problem. The puppy is 5 weeks old, but we make him look like 4 months in passport.
I think of this nowadays as a character, for instance, when you are developing them, you might start a film, especially in docs, this is inevitable. You start a film, you might shoot for a year or several years, whatever it is. But how much do a person change in a couple of months or a day or a year even? Not that much. So in that time, you have to think of it a little bit differently. You got to go back in time and think, how were they before they changed to the person they are now?
Okay, so this seems to be working.
Then your narrative structure and your turning points should be built like narratively to build that story with the turning points. And that means maybe you have to construct where they were before you started filming them, or where they're gonna be, where you think they are in the future. You have to think of what, how is the development, what turning points are there that you can build. Because without it, you don't really have a progression in the story.
What I did was I made this case, I cut this out so you can actually see through. So I just put the GoPro in this one, I put it in this one. Nobody should notice that, I think. This is so that you see so much of it. Yeah. Perfect. This is gonna be brilliant.
Let the audience experience the turning point through action and emotion, not just words. Use visuals and sound and the characters' reactions. Show what's happening. Make them feel it.
Can I touch them? Yes.
And also a strong turning point, it needs a good build-up.
7 weeks.
7 weeks,
Yes.
And how much they cost?
About 1,000 euro.
Use tension, suspense, and anticipation. Drop hints and create small conflicts that lead up to the big moment. And make the audience just wait for it.
It's just a matter of how to cross the border. You can always say that the puppy is older.
In Puppy Mafia, I built the turning points up to just show little signs of trouble. Suspicious conversations, hidden cages, and the emotional toll of, losing my pet. Each moment they add to the tension until the turning point. That's when it becomes impactful. Because turning points aren't just about, what happens. They're about how it affects the characters. So make it personal.
Okay.
Show their emotions, their struggles, and how this moment changes them. I always try to keep the turning points deeply personal. In The Pearl of Africa, Cleo's decision to flee, it wasn't just about her leaving her home. It was about leaving a part of herself, behind in Uganda, facing fear and finding strength. It made the audience feel connected to her journey.
I have left Uganda so many times, but I have left Uganda knowing I can come back when I want to. I have left Uganda knowing that, I will come back in 3 days, or 4 days, or 1 week. And here I was living and I had no hopes of coming back.
Don't just rely on one big turning point though. Layer them throughout your story. Create small and big moments of change that keep the audience engaged. Think of them like stepping stones that lead up to your story's climax. And in Puppy Mafia, There were multiple turning points. You know, the investigation, the death of my dog, the discovery of illegal network puppy trading, and the personal confrontation with the breeders. Each of these moments, they added a layer of depth and it kept the story moving forward. Layering turning points is essential. It helps to create rhythm in the story where the audience, feels like they're going on a journey with the characters. And it's not just one big moment, it's a series of moments that build upon each other. So start by mapping out the key turning points in your story. Know where you want your characters to start and where you want them to go. And remember that turning points can change during the filmmaking process. Sometimes the most powerful turning points, they come from unexpected places. Turning points, they matter because they keep your story dynamic and engaging. They are the moments that make your audience sit up and lean in and feel connected to your characters. And without strong turning points, your story risks feeling flat and predictable. And if you want to learn more about storytelling, then check out my Doc Heroes Journeys cheat sheet. It's free on learndocumentary.com/dochero, and I'll see you next week. Now, check out this video if you want to learn how to tell a better story.